Nancy Drew Shadow at the Water's Edge is the 23rd game of the Nancy Drew series, and after a long list of solved mysteries, Nancy decides to travel to Japan to take a vacation. But of course, this vacation will have nothing to do with relaxing or having fun with her friends, and ends up being quite possibly the most terrifying mystery of the whole series. In Kyoto, she meets Miwako, a demure, soft-spoken front desk attendant. Her grandmother, Takai, a traditional woman with the slowest speaking voice ever, Rentaro, the handyman and Miwako's boyfriend, and Yumi, a girl boss who gaslights and gatekeeps in the cutest outfits. Nancy uncovers a family secret while solving crazy puzzles and running into spooky hauntings. And although this is where the game begins, the real story begins much earlier. Spoilers. Duh. Miwako and Yumi grew up in the ryokan Hiei with their grandmother Takai and mother Kasumi. The two women ran the hotel and taught their daughters about the tradition of passing the ryokan from eldest daughter to eldest daughter. Yumi, an already rebellious spirit, did not want this responsibility and fled to the city as much as she could to get away from her family. This went on for years and led Miwako to take more of an interest in the ryokan, whether out of passion or obligation. The girls never got along, as Kasumi explains to her pen pal, Marianne. She writes about the family and how she loves the ryokan, but also that she just wants what's best for the girls. She makes it known to her mother, Takai, that she will allow both Yumi and Miwako to ignore the family tradition if that's what they want. Takai disapproves of this, so Kasumi decides to write down her wishes and locks it in a safe place where no one, Takai, could find it and destroy it. She creates this monster of a puzzle and locks the note and other keepsakes inside. One of the keepsakes is this ornate knife, which is probably not the best thing to leave for feuding daughters, but again, very convenient for Nancy. She took the key to the puzzle and splits it in two. One she gave to Yumi, who kept it in this frog box, and the other she gave to Miwako. Kasumi shows Miwako where to keep it safe, and Miwako writes down a clue on where to find it again on one of her mother's letters, which she keeps safe in this box. One night, Kasumi was planning on meeting up with Marianne. Still upset with her, Takai played sick and told Kasumi to stay at the ryokan to clean the baths, which is usually Takai's job. While cleaning one of the baths, Kasumi slipped on the edge and fell into the water unconscious. When it was too late, Yumi found her mother's body and the police were called. The grieving family then blocked off the room where Kasumi died, which led to the remaining bath area being shared with men and women every other day. As soon as Yumi was old enough to sign a lease, she left the ryokan and got a job selling the cutest bento in the world. Like, seriously, there's been a lot of food in the Nancy Drew games, and I have never craved anything so badly as this bento. Anyway, Yumi's absence leaves Miwako to take care of the ryokan. However, this angers Rentaro. Rentaro and Miwako wanted to move to the city together, but until Yumi takes over her inherited responsibilities, Miwako is obligated to stay. Takai sees the rift, yet keeps Kasumi's wishes to herself. Rentaro decides that Miwako will not leave by her own accord, so he takes his knowledge of robotics and of the ryokan and stages hauntings to scare off the guests so the ryokan will close forever. Word, however, gets out about the hauntings, and ghost hunters from all over come to stay at the ryokan, much to Rentaro's chagrin. One of these ghost hunters was Savannah Woodham, from Savannah, Georgia. Oh, her directive. During her stay, she found a secret passageway in her room that led to the closed-off bath. She was also victim to multiple of Rentaro's hauntings. Whatever Rentaro did spooked her out so much that she fled the ryokan as soon as she could. However, before she left, she gave the family a certificate saying that the inn was free of all spirits to comfort the family. She then wrote a chapter about it in her book, in which she spelled Rentaro's name wrong. And speaking of names, it always irritated me how Nancy pronounced their names in this game. She constantly says Miwako and Rentaro. It's like introducing yourself as Madison and then only being referred to as Medicine.
I met Rentaro. Who is he?
Rentaro.
And Nancy is supposed to be teaching Japanese students in this game. You would think she would know better. Anyway, Rentaro succeeds in keeping the ryokan mostly empty. He also takes to scaring Yumi at her apartment, possibly to guilt her into taking over the ryokan like she's supposed to. Yumi, however, thinks it's Miwako. Because of its growing reputation, the ryokan struggles to stay afloat, leaving Miwako failing to convince the guests that the inn is not haunted, despite keeping a ghost book for all to see in the lobby. The only guest Rentaro failed to scare away was Nancy, even after he attempted to drown her in the very bath Kasumi died in. And afterwards, Nancy goes to confront Takai instead of calling the police. And can you imagine this grief-stricken woman who is also being haunted by Kasumi's memory, seeing a drenched girl in her doorway demanding to know the truth about Kasumi? I'm surprised she didn't have a heart attack right then and there. Nancy then discovers all of Rentaro's secrets: the puppet he used to make the shadows with Miwako's book, the Door-O-Matic he used to rig all the doors in the ryokan, and creepy sounds that he engineered with the recorder which he used to send creepy messages and sounds to Nancy and anyone else's phone in the place. A tool which later on would lead to his downfall. But Nancy manages to find him out and finally leaves Kasumi's memory to rest. The sisters make up, the ryokan is saved, and depending on which ending you choose, Rentaro either leaves to never return or apologizes and sticks around to modernize the inn. For the longest time, I personally always did the forgiveness ending, but replaying this game made me realize that Rentaro manipulates his girlfriend so badly into thinking that her dead mother is haunting their family home, and lets her stress about it for what seems like years. Dude's seriously toxic. Anyway, that was Nancy Drew Explained Shadow at the Water's Edge. Did I miss anything? Let me know in the comments, and if you liked it, pretty please leave a like, and thanks for watching. Bye!